Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video where we're going to be talking about the potential double top forming here on Bitcoin's price action, this recent close and why it's a bearish one. And we're also going to be talking about some scenarios about the validation point for this double top, potentially the second part of it playing out, but also the weekly bearish divergence, when we could see the completion of this double top, what sort of target. So many different things, also piling up a few moving averages and what they could signify and how they could change the double top structure. So much more to come in this video, lots to cover, so feel free to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Like this video if you enjoy market updates just like this one, and let's dive right into it. So the first thing to start off with is this 29,250 level. This is the level that Bitcoin needs to claim as a support so as to invalidate the second part of this double bottom, or at least double top formation, from developing. And at the moment we got a weekly close below 29,250 in the same vein that we saw in mid-May of 2023. So this was essentially the first weekly close after making that first high, and right over here we made this second high. And now we have that first weekly close after that second high. So we're repeating a lot of the things that we saw back in late April, around early May, where this 29,250 level is acting as a new resistance once again. And if this indeed is relief rallying and upside wicking into 29,250, then we could see downside continuation in a similar vein to what we've seen in the past. And this would enable the second part of this double top to develop. And we're currently seeing this potential M-shaped formation develop. It's still early stage, but at the moment we're getting all the bearish signals to suggest that this could be a point of rejection to send price into fully developing the second part of that double bottom formation, that double top formation. And the weekly bearish divergence doesn't help things. The higher high on price, the lower high on the RSI indicator. And what has to happen here in terms of price action changes and RSI changes for this double top to potentially invalidate? Well, Bitcoin needs to reclaim this 29,250 level as a support and rally towards the upside. And by rallying towards the upside, it will invalidate these lower highs on price. So those are the two things: reclaim 29,250 as a support and break the series of lower highs that we're seeing on price. And on the RSI would need to simply break the downtrend right over here. And those are the three signs that I'm going to be watching out for an invalidation of this double top. But at the moment, we're not seeing that. So if we continue to see resistance and a point of rejection from here, then we could see that second part of the double top form. How long could that take? Well, it's been 56 days so far in the formation of this potential second double top, and the first part of the double top formed in 91 days, so around 3 months. And if this is going to be a symmetrical and mirroring of this double top, then 91 days should see us form the second part of this double top in mid-September, so around 30 days away, a month or so away from completing this double top. And this double top would essentially complete by revisiting the 26 area. 26K is the validation point. So this is the level that needs to give way and break down for this double top to essentially see downside continuation into lower price levels. August has typically been a bearish month in pre-halving years. In 2019, we saw a 4% downside. In 2015, we saw an 18% downside in August. And we have to see somewhere in between an 11% downside currently from current price levels in August to reach this 26K region for the potential validation of this double top. So somewhere midway between historical August drawdowns in pre-halving years. But here's the interesting thing that's happening at the moment. This is a 200-week moving average. We've seen downside deviation into a bear market bottom this year and late last year. Typically, we've seen generational bottoming at the 200-week moving average. This orange MA right over here, we've fake broken down from this level before. So if we were to either find support here, that would essentially form a new higher low here. So that would invalidate this double top pattern that we're talking about today. And if we were just to align a trend line with these two highs acting as a resistance and this low here acting as a support just below the 200-week moving average, even if we were to fail as support right over here and downside wick or actually form a candle body right over here at this bottom trend line, this would still be a higher low relative to these June lows, roughly speaking. So that would also invalidate the double top idea, because the double top idea would assume that we need to drop into 26K for that make it or break it moment. But if we form this trend line here with a higher low, that's going to turn things into a different structure altogether. Could it be potentially a rising wedge, so still a bearish structure, or are we going to have to kind of discount this as a higher high because it is quite subtle? Nonetheless, it still is a higher high, but do we have to potentially discount this and say that this is the top of an ascending triangle, and this would be the breakout point that really enjoys price action towards the upside for Bitcoin? So is this the top of a ascending triangle? Really difficult to say that, because we have this higher high and we have the weekly bearish divergence, but this is the crucial resistance, make no mistake about it. So this is the region to break for further upside. And if we get a higher high on price, like we're seeing right over here, it would make things a lot more interesting. We need to consider a rising wedge. So if this trend line were to break, then we'd see that double top 26K validation point, and the double top would probably form. But if we hold here, things would get interesting. We'd see a different structure build altogether. And the thing about this structure overall, and generally this region acting as a confluence support region, is because we also have two bull market bullish momentum exponential moving averages developing here. So we have the 21-week moving average, the EMA, the bull market indicator, potentially acting as a support right over here. We have the 50-week blue EMA also acting as a potential support here. You can see how this blue moving average acted as a perfect support only a few weeks ago, and could it be the same this time around? That's going to be approximately confluent also with this potential new higher low. So really confluent area of support right over here, and it's this cluster of support that could really get in the way of a double top forming, and it's this cluster of support that could actually engage a higher low to develop. So what's interesting about this price action right now is that, yes, we are seeing a weekly bearish divergence here on the price action, lower highs on the RSI and higher highs on the price action. But what would be really interesting is if we have this trend line form in actuality, where the cluster of EMAs and moving averages really facilitate a higher low to develop here. If we get this higher low to develop here on price action, then we'd actually potentially have the chance to develop a lower low on the RSI, and that constitutes a bullish divergence. So if we're seeing a weekly bearish divergence form here on price action and the RSI, and then we see a bullish divergence form on the price action, then these two kind of cancel themselves out, and it would come down to really, where does the RSI break? Because if the RSI breaks the lower highs, then this invalidates the bearish divergence. But if we see the RSI drop into here and form a new lower low and actually hold here, that would be bullish, but lose this lower low and break down, then we probably see a breakdown in price action as well. So lots covered today, really interesting things going on. We have a cluster of support here that's developing. Bitcoin needs to hold there as a support to remain bullish and actually stave off any rising wedge or stave off any double top from developing here. So there is a chance that these supports will hold and enable the next upside move for Bitcoin. But If this cluster of support doesn't hold, then this double top is still going to be a threat for price action going forward. That's about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, and of course, subscribe for more videos like this in the future if you enjoy this one. Of course, if you enjoy these videos, feel free to like them because it really helps with the algorithm and really helps the channel grow. Really appreciate your support, and thank you so much for watching today. I'm Rekt Capital. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found this one educational, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.